Hello, my name is Ethan and my Unangax name is Kanglagich and I am Unangax from Alaska. Our effort in Alaska is to revitalize our spirit. And we're doing that in my region through language and through our traditional dance. Some years ago, I wanted to revitalize it because I thought, I want this out, and we're the only group not dancing in Alaska. We've put our dancing aside, and ours was because of World War II. In World War II, the Japanese dropped bombs in Dutch Harbor, which was a military post on Unalaska Island. The Americans rounded us up and people were evacuated out. We couldn't bring anything with us, including any religious items, any spiritual things, any traditional clothing, anything. And so when we returned to our villages, the American military had ransacked the houses and everything had been taken for souvenirs. The ship would go through each village and pick up all the people. When they got to Unalaska, there were mixed marriages, and those families, the native spouse and the children had to go, and the whites got to stay. And at that point, our leaders and chiefs were saying, there's something wrong with this. From there, we were interned for 3.5, 4 years in camps in southeast Alaska, and they were abandoned mines or abandoned fish cannery camps. And so they're just like a warehouse with, big cracks in the floor and no insulation, nothing. In those camps, life was horrible. There was a third of our population died. And for a third of us to die in the camps because of, you look at the death certificates of the children in those camps, all it says, reason of death, pain. So you tell me what that means. It's really impacted our people, Unangax people, the World War II experience. Some villages stopped speaking their language. Some people, we can't be Unangax anymore. There's no history, there's no future. We got to be white, we got to pretend we're somebody else. And so we've been struggling as Native people since then to revitalize our culture. So I worked with the school district in Aleutian region, and we put together a plan and a program to revitalize dance and song. We still had elders who remembered, and they remembered songs and did dancing when they were young. We pulled out Russian journals that wrote a lot about our music. We had wax cylinders recorded. There were wax cylinders recorded. We had them transferred onto cassette tapes. So we studied our music that from long ago. We did it was our entire half a day in our schools was spent on culture only. Language, dancing, traditional arts and crafts, and creation of new music. We'd been practicing for a year and a half, I guess, and we said, okay, we've got a performance put together, now let's bring the elders. We were nervous, we were afraid. None of us had we'd never danced for a village before. And so we put a performance on. We did all of our dances. And all the talking was done in our language. And at the end, the chief, the leader of the community, stood up. And we looked, and there were elders with tears in their eyes. And he started talking to us, and he started to cry even, and held his heart, and he said, he goes, this is stuff we remember from when we were children, before World War II. He goes, it brings so many good memories, and you see tears in our eyes. He goes, these are tears of happiness and joy. We're so happy to see this come back to life. He goes, the children are beautiful. He goes, and this is our dance. Since then, it's spread to every island. Every village in our region now is dancing and has dance.
I think it's a spiritual war for us because we've gone through so much. To me, I see it as a way for us to keep up the resistance. Want to get behind the drum with me? Ah!